Our guest today has never had a job. He's an internet multimillionaire, guy next door, and founder of the only licensed, dedicated internet marketing school in the country. He's going to share a lot of his experience with us today that I know is going to help you grow your business and give you some tips that you can implement immediately to improve your situation. So you do not want to miss this. Hi, I am Tim Fitzpatrick with Rialto Marketing, where we believe marketing shouldn't be difficult. All you need is the right plan. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I am really excited to have Tom Antion with Antion and Associates with me today. Tom, thanks for joining me, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, it's great, Tim. And I got to correct one thing. I did apply for a job one time.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw it said 401k, and I thought, man, that's a great starting salary, 401.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that job.
Yeah. Yes. Well, for those of us that got started on our entrepreneurial journey early, we either have not had too many jobs or had none. So yeah, I'm with you, man. Once you get the bug, it's hard to go back to doing anything else.
Well, I'm only at 44 years in formal business at this point, and really since I was 10 years old. I know you can't believe it with my baby face here, but
yeah.
if you keep your weight up, it knocks the wrinkles out. So just saying.
So before we jump into things, I got some rapid fire questions. Help us get to know you a little bit better. You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, do it, man.
Okay. When you're not working, how do you like to spend your time?
Oh, with my dogs. I'm a dog nut. I've rescued tons of dogs, and I have a dog company on the side, which is part of my Make Your Hobbies Tax Deductible routine. And just spending time with them, they're just a joy, that's for sure. Except when they run away and get on the other side of the fence, and then
yes,
you got to chase them around. Other than
yes,
that,
before we jumped on air, you were telling me about your husky, and I was talking about my beagle. They're both runners. What's your hidden talent?
Hidden talent. It was hidden for a long time, and recently I'll say it's come out of the dojo. So it's I'm kind of a self-defense expert in that I've been in 2 gunfights, knife fights, over 100 violent encounters with bikers trying to kill me, and shot up my car with shotgun blasts, and never said much about my skills until I started to see all these carjackings and these games where they're knocking people out, old people, and I thought, I should come out with this. And so I put a 14-hour seminar together called Brutal Self-Defense. And so I guess that's my hidden talent. But since I got out of the nightclub business, not one person has hit me with a beer bottle. So it's been better. It's better.
That's good. That's a step in the right direction. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Well, if it's business-wise, it would be the most recent one would have been Corey Rudel, who was kind of the 30-year-old grandfather of internet marketing for small business. He unfortunately died in a tragic racing accident, but he was my first internet teacher in 1996. And I think it might surprise you. He told me to hide my products. Hide my products. That's more for expensive products, because he says if you show an expensive product on your webpage, people scroll to the bottom and then see the price and then leave. He said, get rid of the picture and everything and just show them all the benefits, and use what we call advertorial. So you don't even know there's a product. The sales letter looks like a big article, and then it transitions after they see all the benefits with no sales resistance. So I have one page for one product that's made over $1 million. Just one, not a whole website, just one page on website based on that concept. So he said, hide your products and lead people to it seeing benefits. So that would be a more modern one. Now, the original one would be my dad, which is pictured behind me. That's not him, but he taught me when I could just crawl, he would put my toys, you can see the ball there, on the other side of a pillow, and to teach me how to overcome obstacles. And so to this day, I'm unstoppable. I won't cheat anybody or step on them to get where I'm going. But if you tell me I can't do something, you better get out of the way while I blow by doing it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the tip for your listeners is that when somebody tells you you can't do something, it has nothing to do with you. It means they can't do it. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with you. So,
Yeah.
so he taught me to be excellent and overcome obstacles, and that was my dad.
What's one thing about you that surprises people?
Well, that I cry at America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent videos when some underdog makes it. I'm just so happy that they do it. So I kind of get teary-eyed and choked up. So I'm always for the underdog.
What does success mean to you?
Well, success is keeping going when you realize you're never going to realize your dreams. For instance, I'm pretty sure at my age, I'm not going to realize my dream of being an international playboy.
Yeah.
So, but I keep fighting. I keep trying. But I've heard a lot of your other guests, and it's a very typical for people like me. It's like, I make my world is helping other people. That's how I got rich, and in many ways, not just money, but helping other people. So that's a pretty common one. But anyway, you do have to keep going when you know you're not going to be an international player.
Yeah. Life must go on.
Yeah.
Where's your happy place?
Happy place. Oh boy, I can think of so many things that would make this an explicit episode, but I'll refrain from that. But my happy place would be when I see the underdogs succeeding. So it's a combination with the AGT, but when I see it for real with people that maybe I've helped, I really get it, because I've rescued hundreds and hundreds of dogs, and one of the best things I ever did was I auctioned myself off. In about 5 minutes, I raised $78,000, and that would feed 288 homeless children for a year. So that's a very happy place. But I'm trying to beat that record with the program I'm doing now. I have a school, the school that you mentioned. We're doing a big campaign for people with mobility problems and sight problems to put them through my school so they can legitimately learn from home and legitimately be hired from home, and not have to, it takes them 3 hours to do what you and I can do in 10 minutes, when it's traveling. So that program is in play right now. We're doing a big GoFundMe thing, and I'm going to hire disabled people to help run the program. So that means, the thing with the children, I was really proud of that, but it's a Band-Aid. What happens when the year's up? This, I'm changing these people's lives, and I'm asking for people to help me with the GoFundMe to do it. But they're going to get hired, and the depression is 4 times the normal. The suicide rate is 4 times the normal. So I have the ability to do something about it, and if it kills me, I'm going to do something about it.
Awesome.
That's a happy place.
What about qualities? What qualities do you value in the people you spend time with?
I've got to be able to depend on what they say. And that's one thing, I'm doing a book on the crowdfunding on how to do it properly. And one of the common things I've been teaching for years is some of the nicest, best people will tell you, oh yeah, I'm going to do this tonight. And then they don't do it. Where with me, if there was a nuclear attack and I told you I was going to do something, I'm going to do it, or else I'll call you and tell you why not. So they have to be able to depend on what they say. I'd rather they say no than say yes and then not do it.
Yeah. Agree 100%. So tell us a little bit more about just, your background and what you're doing. It seems like you got your hands in a lot of different pots.
Well, the thing is, my podcast is called Screw the Commute, based on the fact I never had a job. And, and my resume kind of looks like BS, because when you're not sitting in a car or sitting in traffic for hours a day, plus all the other time it takes to be ready to go to work and come home and all that, you can live 2 or 3 lives. So, I mean, I've been a charter pilot, owned the second biggest nightclub in the state, became a martial arts expert, internet marketing expert. I've done 3,000 speeches in 12 countries. I mean, it's hard to believe somebody could do all this stuff, but if you added up all that time, you're just making other people rich. And all work is honorable. I'm not saying you should just quit and take this job and shove it.
Yeah.
But I want you to eventually do that. And
yeah.
my job when I teach people is to make it too expensive for you to go to work anymore, because the time you're spending on your own stuff is equaling or exceeding what you're making at work. And it doesn't even have to exceed or equal, because the stuff you make at work is W-2 income.
Yeah.
Taxes are taken out. So you can make less and have a bunch of tax deductions, totally legitimate, no scam, no IRS troubles, and make less money and equal your job, and then you have more time. So there's all kinds of benefits from it.
I love it. So let's jump into this. What are your favorite ways to earn money quickly?
Well, I never preach get rich quick. All right. But, a lot of people do come to me and they're in a position that they need. And I think this is going to surprise you, because I've heard some of your other episodes, big experts on email marketing, telling you about DKIM settings and all this stuff. I think this will surprise you. If somebody comes to me and wants to make money quick, eBay is where I send them. Why? Because you don't have to have a website. You could literally have money coming in tomorrow with a PayPal account and clean your basement out at the same time. So, and I grew up very frugal. My dad came from Syria on a cattle boat in the early 1900s. When I grew up, he would buy used lumber, make us kids pull the nails out, straighten them out so we could reuse them. That's the kind of guy he was. And I can't even let the water run while I'm brushing my teeth now to this day at 66 years old, because I hear my dad, "You're wasting water, don't waste it." Right? So I buy stuff used a lot. So I bought this thing off of eBay, and the guy happened to be local. And so I go over to his house, his beautiful house. It was a tool, because I'm really into tools, blue collar. My dad grew up teaching me how to make stuff. And so a $500,000 motorhome out front. Like, he's dressed nicely. He invites me in to go down to his shop. And so we go down the hall, down the stairs, heading back to his shop. And Tim, everything to this point was normal. Okay. I'm going down towards his shop, and I look over, and the whole ceiling of his basement, there were hundreds of ladies' bras hanging from the ceiling in his basement.
Oh my God.
So I'm thinking, oh my God, he sucks people in on eBay and then kills them and hangs their underwear up.
Right.
I'm thinking of all these things, So I'm watching him like a hawk as I buy the tool, and everything is normal. I'm just talking to him. So we go head out, and of course I walk behind him because I don't want him behind me. And I finally said, hey, what's the deal with all these bras hanging here? And he says, oh, my daughter goes to the thrift store. She knows all the thrift stores. She knows all the sizes that are hard to get. She gets them cheap. She cleans them up, repairs them, sells them on eBay. I said, oh, no kidding. $200,000 a year she makes selling used bras on eBay. Right, so,
oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, oh man, if I hang around the bra department at thrift stores, I'm going to get arrested. That probably
right
for me. But I had another friend, a single mom, trying to make ends meet. She'd take $80 to $100 every Saturday to yard sales. And now, if you know anything about eBay, you have the search box at eBay. But right next to the search box, there's a little link that says advanced search. If you click on it, whatever you're searching for, you can click another box that says completed listings only. And it'll bring up all the auctions or buy it nows for the last 90 days for that product, and tells you if it's sold and how much it's sold for. So she would go to a yard sale, and let's say maybe she'd see one of those real nice quality Tonka dump trucks, kid's toy, and she'd say, oh, they're going at $5 at the yard sale. She'd go on her advanced search as, oh, it's going for 50 on eBay. So she would buy it. If it was selling for 50 at the yard sale and selling for 5 on eBay, she wouldn't buy it. So she'd do this every 80 to 100 bucks she'd invest every Saturday. Then during the week, she'd put the auctions up. She was clearing $1,000 to $1,100 a week as a single mom from home with one day at the yard sales. So this is a way to make money fast. No website, just a PayPal account, and using that little trick, you can get stuff free off of Craigslist. Get people moving. I got this air conditioner. It wasn't free, but it was a $559 air conditioner, and I bought it for $175 because the people were moving and they didn't want to haul it, and it was still in the box. So there's all kinds of stuff out there that you can buy and resell. But I like nowadays to do everything from in-house, which means I sell digital products. So you can do that on places like Cafe Press and Zazzle. That actually they're physical products where you just upload graphics onto one of a million products. And then you can get a 17% commission royalty if somebody buys one. It's, in other words, it's print on demand for T-shirts and golf shirts and tote bags and baby clothes. And they have over 1 million different products that you can make a store for free. And all you do is upload graphics. Like if you can think up funny sayings for T-shirts, you can have a T-shirt store with no inventory, no shipping, no nothing, just uploading graphics. So there's all kinds of things like that that you can do with no money, no investment, no nothing.
So those are easy ways to get started. Do you see a lot of people doing that as kind of a side hustle to start to make money, and then they take that money and they're investing that in starting a business, or does it?
Yeah, it's something you can do with no risk on the side. You don't have to quit your job to do it. I don't tell people just to quit and be irresponsible, but it's something that a lot of people are afraid because there's so many scams out there. In fact, I have a TV show in development in Hollywood called Scam Brigade to go after bad people. I've seen so many bad things happen to people during the 27 years I've been selling on the internet. So you don't have to, what I want to do is keep your risk very low and your profits high. And that's where digital products kick in, because they're 97% profit and only a percentage credit card fee percentage. So we do I've sold my first ebook 21 years ago. And I have one ebook. This kind of leads into one of the other things I think we're going to talk about. I have one ebook I wrote in 4 hours in a layover at McCarran Airport in Las Vegas. I remember it vividly. And it's a free ebook. This is going to sound like total BS to you until I explain how it works. As of this morning, it's brought in $3.64 million. And every month, $5,000 to $15,000 a month. And it's free. Well, how does that work? That sounds like BS, right? Well, any book you ever do should lead to something bigger that people buy. A book is the least profitable, most hassle thing you'll ever do.
Yeah.
So in this book, I taught people how to do something and how wonderful it is to do it. But they can't do it unless they buy the tool necessary to do it, and then I get a commission. And that's a basic affiliate relationship where you recommend something and you get a commission once. Well, the reason this thing pays and pays and pays is it's called a residual affiliate program. So the thing I'm recommending, you have to keep paying for as long as you use it, either yearly or monthly. And so some people have had it 16 years. So the beauty is I promoted it once to them in that ebook, and I'm getting paid 16 years later from each person.
So I want to dig into this a little bit.
Okay.
With the ebook and with digital products, are you promoting these a specific way? Do you already have a large following that you're promoting these to, or how did you take that ebook and get it out to the world?
Well, your guest from a couple of weeks ago will love me, Matt Rouse, email guy. Yeah. I had as many as 150,000 subscribers right off the bat. When I started, there was no social media. There was no distractions. People would sign up for email. for no problem. You didn't worry about them unsubscribe because they hadn't have anywhere else to go, right? So I had about 150,000 subscribers. It's about 100,000 now, and all the social media stuff. I'm in totally agreement with Mr. Rouse, is to get them the heck off of there onto an email list.
Yeah.
So when you look at my social media following, you'll say, "Man, what a punk this guy is. He's got nothing." Well, yeah, but I got this email list where the money actually is.
Yes. Yes.
So I look at the social media as a necessary evil, but it didn't exist when I first got started. So I started getting an ingrain with email, giving this book away for free. And of course, it was on my website. And at the time, I was an SEO fanatic too, which now I blew that off 5 years ago. We use all paid traffic now.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was taught by Michael Campbell, who was the best of the best in the day. And I was for 12 years straight on major keywords, number 1, 2, or 3 on the first page of Google. But, like I said, about 5 years ago, I said, this is too much work when there's bargains of paid traffic that you can create enormous traffic and not have to do all the content creation and all the hoping, crossing your fingers Google doesn't turn one dial and you disappear off the face of the earth.
Yeah. So a lot of that was initially built from your email list.
Email. Yep.
Yeah.
Email and SEO at the time. Nowadays, I in good faith, can't, other than simple SEO, so you don't do stupid things. I don't teach SEO anymore. It's just a waste of time. It takes you forever.
So most of what you're doing today is all paid traffic.
Either paid traffic, which I don't even run that many ads anymore. When you have this big email list, you can, it kind of begets what it begets. And of course, with my podcast, we've done 450 episodes. So that gives a lot of promotion nowadays, but that's only been going about 3 years now. But the bulk of it is email, and I don't know anybody at my level that didn't make their fortune on email.
Yeah. Yeah. So
email's not dead, according to your last.
Yeah, it is not dead. Here's another person telling you how important your email list is. If you need to keep hearing it, then keep hearing it. Otherwise, jump in and start building your email list. So you kind of touched on this, right? You've got multiple streams of income that are feeding into your bank account. You touched on the ebook. What else is there for us to learn from this, so that we can start doing some of the same things?
Well, this is one thing that I can't think of one person or one family that couldn't do pretty much immediately and end up being further ahead for it. And I've taught this for many, many years. It's how to make your hobbies tax deductible and family interest tax deductible. And I've been doing it for so long, but I do some crazy stuff that's perfectly legitimate. For instance, I have the dubious distinction of being the largest person ever to create and star in a tennis training video because I'm a tennis nut. It's called Fatso Tennis. You can go see the trailer to the DVD I produced where I'm playing tennis and eating pizza at the same time. Everything's so expensive. The rackets, the balls, the ball machine. I got a tennis court. All this stuff is legitimately tax deductible because I made a tennis training video. And part of it's funny, but part of it is really the angles of the court and how to make the younger people run to death before you drop dead, and all kinds of stuff like that, and even all the gadgets. You remember that movie with Kevin Costner called Tin Cup, where he was a golfer, and he was losing his mojo, so he's trying all these gadgets. Well, there's a bunch of gadgets for fat people on tennis, and like for instance, like there's the racket. You got the head of the racket up there, but this is the butt of the racket right here, right? So there's a suction cup you can put on there, so that you can just go down and you don't have to bend over to pick the ball up. You can just push it on the ball. It's really pitiful, but it's hysterical. But it's a $40 DVD set. So when I sell that, it makes all my tennis stuff tax deductible.
Interesting. So it's creating a product of some kind based around your hobby.
Or get an affiliate product. You do not have to create a product. An affiliate product bringing in money is just as good tax-wise and with no product production. I did it because I'm crazy and I have the video people and all that stuff. But all you have to do is have affiliate products on there. And it could be on anything. Like I say, if you're a soccer mom or soccer dad, you could interview a bunch of high school soccer coaches on how your kid can do better at soccer. And now and your kids are the models, you know, and then their clothes. And if you get big enough with this stuff, sponsors will start giving you soccer balls and clothes and everything, and to have you review them. Camping, any kind of stuff that you're just paying through the nose for, you will at least break even or do better when you make them tax deductible.
Got it. So do you, in that case, like, have you set up, do you have multiple companies, right? So
no, it's just DBAs under the same corporation. Yeah, I don't spend a lot on legal well, I don't have, I never get sued because I treat people right.
Yeah.
And I actually started my corporation with a book, an information product for $50 and did it myself. So like I said, I'm very frugal because the less money you start with to get your business going, the less you have to make to get at least back to broke.
Yeah.
So when people get sucked into a $5,000 website, when we can make a world-class website for $150 with a WordPress website with a responsive theme for $100, you're in business with a gorgeous thing, and somebody would have charged you $5,000. So the point is, you need to learn and get some skills under your belt, or go down to the local preschool and wake a kid up from his nap to help you, because they came out of the womb swiping screens, you know. So
yeah, I want to circle back to something that you said earlier that I think people can benefit from. You talked about hiding your products, right? As and not showing pricing. So I'm assuming I know how you're gonna answer this question, but how do you feel about people posting? So, you know, a lot of the people that we work with are coaches, consultants, professional service providers. How do you feel about people publishing their pricing on their website?
Well, I'm okay with that. Yeah, it's a testing. Anything you do is a testing process. There's no right or wrong on any of this stuff. But one thing I did not say that I hid my pricing. All I said is that they didn't even know there was a product until they got down to the bottom of what they thought was an article. So the pricing was there, but it wasn't a giant thing with a big bonus flashing at you. It's just paragraph text. That's what advertorial is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm fine with people promoting their or putting their prices on, because on one hand, maybe they're doing well and they want to discourage tire kickers.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you read Cialdini's book, The Influence of Psychology of Persuasion, some people are influenced. The more expensive something in it must be better, whether it is or not, totally different, but they feel that it is.
Yeah.
So it's just a testing process to see what works best for you. Have no trouble with it at all.
Yeah. You know, because it's interesting. People seem to, you know, the people that I've come across that feel like you shouldn't post pricing, it all seems to be focused around being able to have that conversation about value, you know, where, hey, I don't want somebody to see that this is $10,000 or 5,000 or whatever it is, because I haven't had the opportunity to communicate the value to them yet. And until I do that, I may if I post it, I may lose business because I haven't had the opportunity to communicate that value. So I just thought that was, that it's interesting, because part of me also feels like, yeah, you can communicate the value, but if somebody doesn't have $10,000, they don't have $10,000.
Yeah, that's the thing. You could spend a lot of time with people that have no chance of doing business with you. Now, I'm all for helping people, true, but there's only so much time in a day. And I do have to fulfill my obligations to the people that have spent money.
Yeah.
So you have to, you know, it just depends on where you're at in your career.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I might have thought, hey, that's a good idea. But now where I sit now, it's not a good idea, because I don't have the time to deal with people that are not qualified.
Yeah.
So And then like I said, I do benevolent things so that I'm helping those people, but I can't spend my professional time on people that have no chance on earth at this point.
Yeah.
But I still treat everybody nice. That's the one thing why I clean up at these when I speak. I'm always the top seller. I'm usually the headliner.
Yeah.
But these divas that are speaking at the same event, they blow in with their entourage and they're too good to talk to anybody. And then I'm sitting there because I always watch every speech, and I'm sitting there just chuckling to myself. I'm going to take all the money. I'm going to take it all because you think you're better than you are. And then they're on stage like, yeah, well, you got to buy now because I've got to be on a plane because I'm more important than you. And
Yeah.
and so I sit back there and take all the money. I'm the first one there, the last one to leave. You wouldn't believe the people that you wouldn't think had two nickels to rub together. I've just treated them nice. And like I said, I'm introduced as the guy next door because I'm the small town kid that's made it good, but I'm still a small town kid that treats people nice. And that has made me a fortune because nobody else would even talk to these people. Yeah. And I would, and I didn't twist their arm to buy, and they bought, so just be good to people. It's a pretty simple concept. I mean,
being kind will never backfire on you. That's for sure. So, what suggestions do you have to help business owners, finding good people and saving money while they're getting things done in their business? I mean, we can all feel overwhelmed at times, a lot of things going on. What suggestions do you have here for us?
Well, I've got an interesting, I'll say, as a nice way to put it, a way to hire people. All right. Okay. And you got to have the stomach for this because you might note that I'm a little bit unconventional. Right?
Yes.
So the first part of this is that I do not, I love everybody, but I do not want to take the time for a 55-year-old MBA who can't even turn their computer on correctly to bother to apply for a job here, because I just don't have the time to deal with them. I don't want to hurt their feelings, but they're clueless, most of them. So I don't want them to even show up. So how do I get out of that? My ads always say paid internship. Paid internship. And no 55-year-old MBA is going to apply for an internship. They're too good for that, right? So it eliminates that whole problem off of my back. I only get younger people that are tech savvy, which is what I need and want, because I'm an old fart. There was no computers when I grew up. So I want these young people around. And I know a lot now from doing it 7 days a week for 27 years, but still I'm no techie. All right. Now, the next thing is, this will also probably surprise you. The only place we hire from is Craigslist. And the reason it's the only place we hire from, it's because it's the only place I can get away with the really rotten, idiotic ads that I put up. Nobody else would do it. Okay. So here's how it works. I entice them, paid internship. I entice them with all the benefits, like Corey Rudel told me, right? So you'll learn from an internationally known internet guru guy. I don't call myself that, but I put it in the ad. And I say, you're going to learn all about all these things. And as you're working here, but then I suck them in with that. And then I get to the point where I say, and on the other side of the coin, if you're a worthless slug that doesn't show up on time and care about your work, if I don't throw you out of here in 5 minutes, the other good people that work here will. It scares the hell out of all the losers. I used to get all these people asking me where their bonus was in the first 3 hours they worked here. So now it scares off all the people that know that they're losers. And I say that, lovingly. But
you've structured the ad in such a way that it discourages people that aren't really interested in working hard.
Right. Yeah. They're entitled and so forth. So I only get the people that in their mind are saying, I'll show this guy, I'm top notch. I do my job and I care about it. And that's all who shows up. And then they're here for years because I keep, with being around me, they meet great people. They learn so much. And eventually they might go up. But I've had people here 12, 13 years. And the first kid I started, wait till you hear this, Tim. His name is Ilya Pozin. Anybody can look this up on Forbes magazine, Pozin. I grabbed him out of Comp USA, which I don't think exists anymore. He was answering all these questions. He's in 10th grade. I slipped him a piece of paper and I said, hey, I'll pay you double if you come work for me. So he called me up. He started working for me. I taught him how to be an entrepreneur. He was just going to be a corporate slug, like his, that's all he knew from his family, get a corporate job. So I got him out of that, taught him how to start his own business. He worked for me for several years. I actually bought him a house to live in while he worked for me because he was so valuable to me. But I was valuable to him too. So fast forward, he just sold his third startup. Pluto.tv was his baby. Pluto, I don't know if you heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of Pluto.
That's Ilya Pozin started that. Just sold it for $340 million to Viacom and wrote an article in Forbes giving me credit for starting him as an entrepreneur. So that gives me pimples still to taking a kid and changing the course of his life. And I told him, next time I come to LA, you're buying dinner, you little.
Yeah.
I have to tell you that. He called me from a yacht in Greece with supermodels. I said, don't you lose all that money, man. So it's a very strange hiring technique that has worked for many, many years like a charm.
Interesting. So you're only posting, you're using the Craigslist job section to post.
Yep. And some cities you have to pay, but and I do it locally if I'm looking for a local person, then you can only put one ad in one place at a time.
Yeah.
But in many places, and another tip for everybody is do not pay by the hour if they're not sitting right next to you. Because they'll be playing on Facebook for 99% of the hour and you'll get 1% of the hour and they'll be charging you hourly if they're remote. So we pay them by the job. So if they're supposed to put 10 web pages up, well, I can see them online, and if they're acceptable, then they get paid. So I'm not here like, oh man, I know they're fooling around on Facebook or not even Facebook anymore, TikTok or whatever.
When you're hiring these people, are you hiring them as 1099 contractors?
I am doing that now. I was hiring them as employees, but once they're here for a while, I offer them the idea that I will teach you how to start your own business, and then you will work for me and for others as a 1099 person. So some of them took me up on that. Some of them are just straight employees. Yeah. So I offer that because I've got so much business experience. I can teach them, like I taught Ilya, how to be a business person. And so it's both, basically.
Okay, got it. Awesome. Well, this is good stuff. Any last minute words of wisdom or ideas you want to share with us before we close things out here, Tom?
Well, I implore people to think about the digital world, because the risk of getting into this kind of business is so low now because of being able to make as much money on a digital book as you can on a physical book that has all the problems of printing and shipping and layout and damaged books and returns and all that stuff, where with digital stuff, that's all wiped off the table. I get as much for a PDF book that's 60 to 150 pages as I would going through all the hassle. And I've got one of the top books ever on public speaking. There it is. But it's a hassle, to print this thing up, and then I got to update this. There's still some stuff in here about overhead projectors. So it's a lot harder to update this than it is. Now the ebook version, no, I wiped all that stuff out in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I implore them to get into the digital world, and they can make a fortune with membership sites, online courses, ebooks. And remember, everything should lead to something more expensive. So your ebook could lead to a membership where you start getting recurring income. So you're always leading people to something else, but that doesn't mean you put out crappy stuff that's just a sales letter. You give them good quality, and then they trust you when you recommend something else. And I asked one person on a webinar, I put it out on a webinar not too long ago. How long have you been doing business with me, folks? There was hundreds of people on there. I was getting 20 years, 24 years. I mean, so that's they just keep spending as long as you keep giving good quality and help them.
Yeah, I love that. So everything you offer should lead to something else, that next step.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you can continue to get people to just step up and continue to work with you.
And they refer you, especially the ones that can't afford you. When you're nice to them, I've gotten so many referrals by people that in a million years couldn't afford me.
Yeah.
But they said, hey, that Tom's really good, and all I did was be nice and help them a little bit. And apparently that's in great demand nowadays.
Well, and you never know what's going to happen with
Mhm.
people. People's situations change. I mean, I remember, when I was in the distribution business, some of our largest customers started out doing hardly any business with us. And we just continued to serve, continued to help them, and something shifted. And all of a sudden, they just shot up and become really great customers. So I totally agree with you. I don't think it's ever writing people off is probably not the best business decision.
I remember this vividly too. I was at the back of the room, like I always am, just hanging out at every seminar. If it's 3 days, I'm there every session. And this guy was next to me. He was dressed really bad, looked kind of homeless a little bit. His teeth were bad, terrible, weird looking feathers hanging off of him. And he's asking me questions. And I just, I'm telling him, and just treating him just like everybody. He plunks down $8,000. He's a best-selling author in his field multiple times over, a real bestseller, not an Amazon thing.
Yeah.
And he said nobody else would answer any of his questions or talk to him. He's put more people into my program without even taking a commission over time. Yeah. So yeah, you can't just treat everybody nice, and you don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. It'll take care of itself.
So Tom, where can people learn more about you if they're interested in some of the stuff we've talked about today?
Well, they might be discouraged in knowing more about me, seeing how crazy I am to start with. but anyway, I do have something that I think will really help them if it's okay to give it to them. Because
absolutely,
because I've long before I had employees, I was handling up to 150,000 subscribers, and nowadays it's like 65,000 customers by myself with one part-time temp person who didn't handle customers. And I compiled all the techniques I used in an ebook that we sell for $27, but it's how to automate your business. And we actually figured it out a couple of years ago. Just one of the tips in the book has saved me 7.5 million keystrokes. Just one of the techniques, and it costs $20 to implement one time. So these are the kinds of things, tools that are free or cheap, that can really make you lightning fast so that you can get your work done faster. Or it's helped me ethically steal a bunch of customers from other people who, their voicemail says, we'll get back to you within 48 hours. I could be dead in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Crazy, so I get back to people immediately, and that gives you an infinitely greater chance of getting the money.
Yeah.
So all these tools are in this book, and nothing costs a lot to implement, and some of it's free. So they can get that. You can see it if they're watching this scrolling on the screen at screwthecommute.com/automate free, screwthecommute.com/automate free. And it'll tell you about all the other stuff, the documentary they're doing, and my mentor program and all that other stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat today, Tom. I really appreciate it. Thank you for those of you that are tuning in, watching, listening. Again, I am Tim Fitzpatrick with Rialto Marketing. If you want to gain clarity on where to focus your marketing efforts right now to get the best return, hop on over to our website, rialtomarketing.com. That's RIALTO marketing.com. Click on the Get a Free Consult button. Be happy to chat with you and guarantee you'll walk away with some clarity on where to focus right now. Till next time, take care.